Barbadians migrate yearly to the U.S., either to pursue their studies or to join family. Finding a place in a new country and finding themselves and their unique voices can sometimes be difficult. Never quite assimilating to the point of invisibility in their new country, they yearn for their culture, dialect, foods, and way of life that seemed normal but are now far removed and distant. In this Links Blink, we explore how Barbadians find a way to carve out a little piece of Barbados right here in the Northeast. We meet 3 young ladies involved with a blog and a Facebook group, and we talk about culture shock and all the various intricacies that come with living in the U.S., especially one of them being the only Barbadian around for miles. These 3 young ladies represent some of the faces of our newest and most dynamic young Barbadians making their way in a new world, taking over the internet and keeping our culture alive in a virtual world.
We've got a very unique way of speaking.
Our dialect is very, very important to us. It's part of our culture.
I need to hear Bajan and I need to hear it raw. Obzaki.
Cat Spraddle, Kafafo, and Bajan Bullet.
Dialect is unique. Our dialect is unique.
Even with the age of the internet, if you look on the internet, you can find something in dialect there.
We must keep this language going in order for our history to be perpetuated.
Me as feel out 100% when they won't be against.
I am Dion Lashley, creator of the Facebook group WHAPAXX and of the blog Allegiance.
Hi, I'm Nisha Ann Green, and I am reporter at large and editor for WHAPAXX and Allegiance.
WHAPAXX, a Facebook group, seeks to unite Bajans living both at home and abroad. Our primary focus is on the Bajan dialect and its ability to unite us wherever we are. The motivation for starting the WHAPAXX group really came out of my desperation. I started it while I was working on a campus one summer a few years ago. And as all my Bajan friends in the States will tell you, anytime I got them on the phone, it's like, I need to hear Bajan and I need to hear it raw. So I'm sitting in my dorm room, totally alone, totally bored, on break from work, and just decided, you know, why not just start a Facebook group? I messaged a couple of my friends from at home, Camila Cadogan, Katrina Brathwaite, Katrina Harewood, Makita Peters, who was studying in New York at the time. And I said, you know, let me just start this Facebook group. I thought it was just going to be 4 or 5 people just, you know, saying random stuff, probably not too interesting. But surprisingly enough, as time passed on, more and more people seem to actually become interested. And it's grown to the point now where we're approaching 1,000 members. We have, I don't know, maybe 30 different discussions going on at any given point in time. And it's to the point where I don't always have to be injecting things onto the group. There are a lot of active members who are putting their own spin on things. And it's amazing to see where it has grown and to see the interest that there has been for that piece of Barbadian culture on the internet.
We just come together on WHAPAXX and express ourselves using unique Bajan dialect.
Now, we've all heard the word WHAPAXX, but exactly where did Dion get her inspiration for the blog's name from?
From a fellow old Arizonian, Andrew Pilgrim. We don't know each other personally, but before I did leave home to come up to study, he had this TV show called Pilly Out Front. And always you could guarantee that he was going to drop the line, WHAPAXX, you done know, somewhere in this TV show. And that just kind of stuck with me as something that I can make reference to, that all Bajans would be able to identify with readily. Living in Princeton, I was the only Bajan on my campus, very few West Indians anywhere around, so I was always desperate for that taste of home.
First night I think we were on doing some little take, and I just hoped for WHAPAXX, which is a noise that we used to use sometimes. You know, Bajans are very onomatopoeic, so you will hear like, brother rocks, blocks, you know, boom, all kind of these foolish noises. Bring it down. And WHAPAXX got created like that, and we've just been going with WHAPAXX ever since. WHAPAXX!
I love Bajan dialect. There's nothing sweeter to me. Nobody else in the Caribbean sounds like us. Nobody else in the Caribbean talks like us. They don't move like us, but dialect is unique. Our dialect is unique. I'm Nikita Harmon, aka Sankofa, aka Beige Flavor, also known as the social commentator and the Yankee infiltrator for Pledge Allegiance blog.
On the blog Allegiance, we chronicle the experience of West Indian immigrants, particularly as they deal with identity. And we also seek to celebrate the contributions of West Indian immigrants throughout the world.
Myself, Dion, and Allegiance, together, we are setting out to unite Bajans around the world and give them a forum where they can come and discuss Bajan issues, discuss issues from wherever they are in the world. But it's unique in a sense because we don't encourage people to use the language, you know, the Queen's English or use proper English. We encourage people to talk Bajan. Dion and I met at Charles F. Broome Memorial School where we were both in the same class for maybe 3 or 4 years. We subsequently met back up, ironically, on Facebook. Facebook seems to be the medium for everybody these days.
The group does keep Bajan dialect alive, and I think that there's a place for it outside of the realm of proper English. There's definitely a certain kind of expression and emotion that you can convey in using Bajan dialect that is simply non-existent in using the Queen's English.
Well, Pledge Allegiance blog was the brainchild of Dion Lashley, and it basically is speaking about the journey of a Bajan sister coming to America and just finding herself and how it relates to being Barbadian and how do you keep grounded while you're not in Barbados.
We also get to kind of put our own special spin on current issues as we see them, whether they're in the West Indies or here in America or elsewhere, because we all believe that we see the world just a little differently than other people do.
Pledge Allegiance really is a way to connect with other people, other Bajans, and for a way to just be grounded with what's going on back home, expressing emotions as only a Bajan can have. Dialect is so important, and I think Bajan dialect is one of those things that if it stays alive, that's how you can go anywhere in the world and know that somebody's a Bajan. I love it. I think it's a colorful language. Nobody else don't talk about Gutmagana Pleki or, you know, Bragadown, like she fall day, so, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's beautiful. Ironically, when I came here, nobody could understand a word that I was saying. So as much as I loved it and I love to use it, I realized that I would have to kind of accommodate other people until they could get used to my intonation and stuff like that. One of the first experiences I had, somebody asked me a simple question: what's my name, where am I from? I told them and I got the blank stare. That blank stare, I came to find out, is synonymous with I don't understand a word that is coming out of your mouth.
When I first came to New York, no, I did not meet a lot of Bajans. The high school I went to, ironically, I was the only Bajan except for a teacher, which of course not in my league. It was unsettling at first because I had to find some kind of way to fit in. If you talk to some of my friends from high school, they would tell you that the first couple of weeks they understood nothing I said.
The internet is the next logical thing, so why not form WHAPAXX? Why not do Pledge Allegiance to keep Bajans together, to express how you feel as a Bajan, to share your experience as a Bajan somewhere else? And it's unique, each person is unique, but as a Bajan, you will find that there will be similarities along the way, and having other people to share that with and people that experience that, I think, is a good thing. You need that support. You need that togetherness. That's how you keep a culture alive. The people sharing in the dialect, the culture, the food, the music, and that community was very important to keeping Bajan culture alive.
I had to find a way to Americanize, as some people would say, to try to fit in.
And that year at high school was definitely a rough one for me because I came from a school where there were boys and girls at Harrison College, and come up here and I have to go back to a unisex school, just girls all day, every day. And it was hard because I was one of the fewer black people among a group of Hispanics. It was mostly Hispanic girls at the school. So that was another thing. And it's hard. That was my first taste of coming to America and being a minority. You come and now you are out of place because you are not the majority anymore. So that was my first experience with being a subculture and not the main culture. If I didn't have my friends that came here with me, Lord knows I probably would be assimilating into the culture already. But there are certain things about you as a Bajan that you don't forget.
Where the group WHAPAXX is going to go, first of all, it's surprising that it has gone anywhere. I expected it to just be 3 friends, you know, goofing off online. But the blog is actually kind of a spin-off of the group and kind of shows where I'm thinking in terms of where this can go.
I think that without, you know, the blog and stuff like that, it would be easy to just fall to the side, you know, if you don't have a community to outreach to.
The more I went ahead with this project, I began to realize that this was more than just a show about a blog or a Facebook group, but more about the new young immigrants and their way of finding a place and fitting in, but not disappearing in this new landscape. A way to not forget culture and not be swept away in an endless stream of different. And this is what WHAPAXX and Allegiance symbolizes. It's more than dialect. It's a continuation of our history, our expression and experience, shouting out and making a stand in this mad melting pot.
I think it is helpful that, you know, there's a blog and using the internet to keep Bajans together. I mean, it's the information age, and well, back in the day, you know, in my mother's time, my grandmother's time, you write a letter and you wait for it to come. I mean, everything is instant now. My advice to any person coming from Barbados to study in the States or anywhere else for that matter would be to maintain connections with back home.
Passed down by the bread cart, all I got is biscuits and butter.
Cat spraddle, kerfuffle, and Bajan bullet.
Obzaki, opitin, on it do, kerfuffle.
What you want to wash it down with? Mobby or ginger beer?